We say all praise and glory and honor be to the Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. We salute you by Hashem Yahushai. May the Most High continue to keep you in this truth and this great Shabbat day. You know, we here giving all praise to the Most High. Thank you for joining us. For those that are online, may the Most High continually bless you continually. My name is Minister Yesha to my left.
My name is Minister Dawad.
And this is GYC Community. You can always visit us at gyccommunity.com or leave your phone number in the comment section so we can add you to our WhatsApp groups. All right, so all praise to Yah. We're going to start with our lesson, which is the Creole version of our lesson this morning, which is the Doctrine of Balaam Breakdown. Many still teach it. The Doctrine of Balaam Breakdown. Many still teach it. So what is the doctrine of Balaam? Balaam. All right, so let's get Psalm 94 and 16 to open up.
Book of Psalm 94, verse 16.
Read.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Right, so who's going to stand up for me against workers of iniquity? What is a worker of iniquity, brothers? What is a worker of iniquity? A person that works sin. Right? It's someone that purposely going around breaking the Most High law and causing other people to break it as well. Very true. All right, so get me Revelation 2 and 14. So the Bible talk about the doctrine of Balaam. So now we've either heard about it, but not to a full extent of understanding. So this is your chance to finally understand what is that talking about. Revelation 2 and 14. Let's open up.
Send the link to the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, they got it.
Okay. Revelation 2, verse 14.
Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, 14. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast them that hold the doctrines of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication.
Right, sexual deviancy. Okay, so going around committing sexual immorality. So the Bible's talking about to this church, Revelation in the last days, and say, man, I have a problem with you. Because there's people among you that's still teaching the doctrine of Balaam. Okay, they're causing my people to sin. Okay, so but what is the doctrine of Balaam? Okay, so well, basically Revelation explain it, but we're gonna go deeper. Revelation say, which teach Balak how to make Israel sin, how to make Israel fall and fall away from me. So that should give you a good hint of what the doctrine of Balaam is. But we're going to go deeper.
Right.
All right, let's go in Numbers. Numbers 22, verse 1 to 35. We're going to do a little summarization of Balaam history. Who's Balaam? Okay, because we seen this is why Christians cannot have a good understanding of the Bible. You see where we have to go to find who Balaam is? We have to go from the very beginning in Numbers. But it's talking about Balaam in Revelation. How can you understand the new one if you don't understand the Old Testament? So this is a good point I want you brothers to see right here. If someone say the Old Testament is done away with, then you're going to go to Revelation 2 and 14 and be, brother, explain to me what is the doctrine of Balaam. Do you know where that is?
How would you explain it?
How would you explain it? You have to go to Numbers, man, to explain that stuff. The whole thing is connected. And you're going to find out what is the doctrine of Balaam. Okay? And the churches, a lot of them are still teaching the doctrine of Balaam, whether they know it or not.
See, we at GYC, we believe in the whole book.
In the whole book, man.
We're not going to leave a piece out. Understand?
Right. Read that, man. Numbers 1. Numbers 22, verse 1.
The book of Numbers 22, verse 1.
Bring it out.
And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel.
Right, so the nation of Moab, which we know as the so-called Asiatic today, the so-called Chinese, Japanese, okay, if you don't believe us, go to Africa, you'll see a lot of, little eyes people in Africa, yeah. There's a name for, you remember that name, Nabash? There's a name for
The bush people?
the bush people, yes. They look black, they're Blackanese, man.
Blackanese.
Right, those are the Moabites. They call them the bush people. If you look them up, you'll see they got small eyes. So, just like a Chinese guy, he thought Chinese was white people. For some, I don't know why he thinks so. But he got tricked by his skin tone, which just so-called white men still don't accept as white. So he thought he was more white than black. Then find out that he come from Africa. His original family come from Africa. Africa is the main place where every nation come from. It's the motherland. So that's where every nation sprang out. So at one point, yes, the Chinese was in Africa. The so-called white man was in Africa. Everybody was in Africa. Then with time, then all nations start spreading around.
Correction, I mean Bushmen.
The Bushmen people. Correction. All right. So if you look them up, the Bushmen people, you'll see they look like Blackanese, man. They're black, but they got little eyes. That's the remnant. Bring that to me real quick. Let me see. Wish I could put it on the screen. But yeah, well, yeah. You won't show because it's gonna be too close. You won't show
Bushman?
because of the zoom. Right. So yeah, the Bushmen people, man, those are the true Ammonites and the true Moabites, man. The family of Lot. I think the people cannot see it, yeah. Right? So those are the original Ammonites, man, and the Moabites. The Blackanese, man. Okay, so now the Moabites, when we got to their land,
I got a better one for you.
ooh, look. Man. So whole familiar. So that's what happened. Now,
Click on it. Give you something else.
that's the black Jackie Chan. Yeah, they're all, for some reason, they're all, look, they look like Chinese, man.
Look at this guy.
See, that's Jet Li.
Look at this guy. See?
Tell me that ain't Chinese, man.
That's it.
Right? So those are the original Moabites and Ammonites. Then later on, they become Chinese and Japanese and all that. Okay, they mix with Esau and all that. What's going on?
That look like
But even in China, there is a history the Chinese trying to suppress. There was a big general, a big time general that was black in their army. But they're trying to suppress that,
There is a guy, I think it was from a university in Hong Kong or Shanghai. He wanted to prove that he's not black. His people were never black. They never had dark skin. They are unique people, and they never came from black people. And he did a research. After all these years of searching, he said, "Yeah, we came from black people." So in other words, just like you have this Bushman, that's exactly his granddad.
Right. So that's what happened, man. Those are the original Moabites. All right. So now, when we get to the plain of Moab, coming from Egypt, so the The Moabites got scared because they know what Israel have done and on their way to the promised land. So let's read on. Let's go back to Numbers, man.
The book of Numbers 22 and verse 4.
Read.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time.
And you can see the hatred right here. You know, till this very day, these people got that stereotype. It's the same way. You can see here, they say, we didn't do anything to them. We just camped. They say, we're going to eat the grass. We're going to lick up everything around here. Like some kind of animal when eating the grass. You know, they say, we're going to eat everything like a camp. You understand? So they are the problem, just us being there. Till this very day, when you go to their shop, how you are buying leaf. But they still have a problem with Israel, man. All these nations hate our people. You understand? So let's read on, brother.
Verse 5. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethah, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people,
right?
To call them, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure, I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land.
Right. So he called Balaam and said, "Man, come over, man. Let's help me curse these people." Read on. Pay attention, guys. That's gonna be a lesson now.
For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Most High shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam.
Right, so quiz time. Brother Uriah, who was Balak? Who was Balak? Who was he? Who was Balak?
You don't know.
He was like a big cookie? Right. What about you, brother Yadan? Who was Balak? Great. That is true. But no, he was the king of Moab. He was a bushman. Kids, you gotta love him.
From the family of Bush.
Right. Let's read on, brother.
Somebody say it's not plain. Is it us?
What's not plain? Nah, it's plain.
It's plain, because obviously it's crystal clear in front of us.
Let's read on.
This guy. Where am I?
Right, so Balak was the king of Moab. What happened? Ours is working. You got bad internet. I'm sure of that. Yeah, it's working.
Mine is crystal clear.
It's good. Yeah, let's read on.
All right. So we're on verse 8 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Verse 9. And the Most High came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee?
Right.
And Balaam said unto the Most High, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, had sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth, Come now, curse me them, peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out.
Right. So the Most High do just like he did in Eden. Say, where art thou, Adam? Say, we heard you, we hide. It's not he didn't know where they were at. Wanted to see where they at.
Why they hide?
Why you hiding? You know. He said, who are those people that come to your house? It's like, yeah, they come from Moab. Been trying to curse Israel out here. Let's see what the Most High said. Prince?
Princes.
Princes. Yeah, not princess. I read. Might as well be princess. Read on.
And Balaam said unto the Most High, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, had sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out.
Right, so you wanted to curse Israel, man. Right? Let's see what the Most High going to say to Balaam.
Verse 12. And the Most High said unto Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed.
Right, they are what?
They are blessed.
He said you cannot curse them. They are a blessed people, and you're not going with them. Right, let's read on.
And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, Get you into your land, for the Most High refused to give me leave to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went unto Balak and said, Balaam refused to come with us. And Balak sent yet again princes more and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, Thus saith Balak the son of Zippor, Let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me. For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me these people.
Right, so they're offering him money. Now pay attention. Okay? They're offering him money to curse Israel, to sell out. Right, so they come back a second time now with more money. Right, we're going to meet that, being in the truth. Right, being in the truth, man. You might get to a level the white men come with a blank check. In fact, I saw a blank check company. There's a blank check company. They literally just offer a blank check. Just put the amount you want. You understand? And a lot of our people, man, they fall for it. So they can teach the doctrine of Balaam. So let's see what Balaam did next.
Verse 18. And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, If Balak will give me his house full of silver, and go, I cannot go beyond the word of the Most High my power to do less or more.
Right, he said, even if they're giving me a lot of money, I can't do whatever the Most High say, that's what I'll do. But check Balaam though, because the Most High he tests the spirits. Okay.
Not your word, not just because you said.
Right.
Verse 19.
Read.
Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Most High will say unto me more.
You see that? Okay, so there's a problem.
That's a contradiction, man.
Okay, the Most High already told you, no, you can't go with this guy. Why you have them stay here?
And what's the point of you saying, even though he gave me the whole his house full of things, then I will not do anything. And you ask them to stay.
Stay to see what the Most High gonna say. Shouldn't you already know? Because he told you no. Should be no. But Balaam had, a little weakness for money. Yeah, maybe he think the Most High will change his mind this time.
He's a double-minded man.
Right, let's read on.
Verse 20. And the Most High came unto Balaam at night, and said unto him, If the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them, but yet the word which I shall say unto thee, thou shalt do.
The Most High said, yeah, go ahead. You can go. If the men say, let's go, go. Because the first thing the Most High already told you, no, why you have this guy stay over. Now, a lot of scholars are confused about that. They're like, why the Most High tell Balaam to go with them, then get mad later on? Well, you don't know. The Most High is a true Haitian. A Haitian, you tell them, can I have this, mommy? No. Can I have it? Yeah, take it. You take it. Just go ahead, take it. Because I should talk to you only one time. I ain't telling you twice. I done told you. That's it. Just take it. Go ahead.
And when I was little, man, that used to happen to me a lot of times.
Never trust Haitian
My mom
parents.
when I come home, man, oh man, I get that rope, my boy. She ain't missing it, bro.
Right, get me Psalms right quick. Psalms 18 verse 26. Mark that in your verse. You're going to need that. Psalms 18, 26. Let's see how the Most High operate. Because later on, the Most High going to get mad at Balaam. So people don't understand. You know, why he told him to go, then get mad at him.
Because he told Balaam no before.
You're playing games. So let's see how the Most High operates.
Psalm 18, 24, you said?
Psalms 18 verse 26.
Psalm 18, 26.
Let me show you something.
The book of Psalm 18, 26.
Read.
With the merciful, thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright.
Read.
With the pure, thou wilt show thyself pure.
With the pure, if you right, the Most High show himself right to you. If you're merciful, the Most High give you mercy. If you're pure, the Most High show himself pure to you. Read, but check this out.
And with the forward, thou wilt show thyself forward.
If you forward, if you're naughty, the Most High will show himself naughty to you. Yeah, it's the same thing with Balaam. Balaam was naughty. The Most High said, the way you deal, that's the way I deal with it.
He didn't want to let the gift go.
You understand? So the Most High, the Most High told him no, but he let them guys stay over and hopefully the Most High changed his mind. The Most High said, go ahead. We're going to meet again. All right, let's read on.
Right. It says, for thou wilt save the afflicted people, but will bring down high looks.
Right, high looks. Let's go back to Numbers. Okay, so the way you operate with the Most High, that's what the Most High, that's how he deal with Esau. Esau was, he sold his birthright. You understand? He's forward. He's naughty. So the Most High going to deal with Esau just the way Esau is. He's going to use your vessel based on how you want to do things. But either way, the Most High will use you. If you want to be an evil vessel, then he'll use you for evil purposes. If you want to be a good vessel, then he use you for good purposes. That's how it works. But either way, you're going to be useful.
Yep.
But you decide how you want to be used, though. Okay? In some cases. Some cases, just the Most High use you how you want. But most of the cases, how you want to live, that's the way he's going to use it. Now let's say if you're a wicked guy, you always, want to do bad things. He may use you to kill another wicked. He use you as judgment on another wicked. Then both of you get destroyed. Mm-hmm. You kill that guy, then you go to jail for life. Either way, you got used. Let's go back. Let's go back. Read Numbers.
The book of Numbers 22. I believe we're now on verse 17. No, verse 23. No, verse 22. The book of Numbers 22.
Right, read.
And the Most High's anger was kindled because he went, and the angel of the Most High stood in the way for an adversary against him.
Right, so the Most High told him, yeah, go ahead. If those guys ask you, just go ahead.
And now he's creating enemies now.
Now, as soon as he left, the Most High said, I kill you.
Can I add something? It's like the Most High is watching that. I'm going to see he's going to really go.
Right.
I'm going to see he's going to go.
But I told him no.
That's how you want to play. All right. I'm going to show you how I do.
Right. The Most High have to talk to you only one time. You see, this is why sometimes I talk to Christians, they would say, well, certain laws only one time in the Bible. That's all the Most High need. It's one time. Or the law of French, brother, it's only one time. It doesn't matter how many times. The Most High speak once. That's all he need. If you want to be proud, that's how he's going to be with you. Read on that.
So he has to put it 50 times for you to keep it.
Right. That's how people, man. Israel.
Throw it thoughts. verse 22, and the Most High's anger was kindled because he went, and the angel of the Most High stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him.
All right, let's go to 2 Peter 2, verse 15 and 16. 2 Peter 2, verse 15 and 16. So let's see why the Most High, let's give you the understanding of why the Most High got mad at Balaam for leaving. Now, after that, we got to give you the basic of the story. Then we got to show you what is the doctrine of Balaam is. All right?
The book of 2 Peter 2, verse
15, 16.
Verse 15. 2 Peter 2, verse 15.
Bring it up.
Which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam.
Follow him what way?
Following the way of Balaam, the son of Bezor,
who
loved the wages of unrighteousness.
What he does?
Who loved the wages of unrighteousness.
That's what the Most High had a problem with him. He loved the money. He wanted that money. The Bible say what? Money is the love of money is what?
Root.
Is the root of all evil. Who knows that verse? It's easy to say. Where is it in the Bible? Proverbs. Corinthians. What's going on here, brother? Get me Timothy 6:10, man. You're gone. You're gonna astray in the way of Balaam. Y'all need to study, man. For them Christian pastors make y'all squeal.
1 Timothy 10.
6:10.
16.
First Timothy 6:10.
Says, for the love of money is the root of all evil.
Is what?
Is the root of all evil.
Right, so I always make that correction. It's not money. Money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money. Money cannot do neither wrong or good. Just like people blame the Bible for slavery. The Bible cannot enslave you. Does it have AIDS? No. You cannot blame the cord that whip you with in slavery either, can you? The same way you cannot blame money. Money cannot do no good or evil, but the love of money can do much damage. All right, so let's go back to 1 Peter, 2 Peter 2 and 15.
2 Peter 2, verse 15.
Read.
It says, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam the son of Bezor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb donkey, speaking with men's voice, forbid the madness of the prophet.
Right, so if you continue reading in Numbers 22, he started beating the donkey. The donkey ain't moving because there is an angel in front of the donkey. He beat the donkey. You stupid donkey, he says. Okay, he beat that donkey, man. Until the angel opened the mouth of the donkey said, why are you beating me so much? Have you ever seen I've done that before? Instead of men running away, man, he keep beating that donkey. Because you stupid. And the donkey stepped on his toes. That's why he got mad. You know that baby toe, man. Anything that step on that. It's exceeding pain. You remember when you hit the corner of the bed, man. That baby to make you sing in Cinco de Mayo. Right? So that baby told me none. So the donkey stepped on Balaam baby told me. He beat that donkey. The donkey talk, he don't even realize it. Yeah, he don't even realize the donkey talk. He forget he said donkey. He was in pain. Right? So let's go to Numbers 23 verse 20. So let's read on. So Balaam ended up going with the men and going to curse Israel. That is the wickedness of Balaam. The Most High told you you can't curse Israel, but you still go ahead with the men. You know, and try 7 times to curse Israel. But this time in chapter 23 is the last time that he tried. All right, let's read that, man.
The book of Numbers 23
verse 20.
23 verse 20.
Read.
Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither hath he seen perverseness in Israel.
You see that? Pay attention to that. It says, man, the Most High don't see iniquity in Jacob, no perverseness in Israel. Read.
The Lord his power is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. The Most High brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of an unicorn. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob.
There's no what?
No enchantment against Jacob.
Read.
Neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath the Most High wrought?
Right, so the Most High, he said there's no enchantment against these people.
No magic, no voodoo.
No voodoo. No voodoo can attend these people. Unless, though,
They sin.
they sin. Okay, so that's where we're going to get back to Revelation, brother. Revelation 2:14. So that's where we start really understanding what's going on here. Now, if you finish reading the whole book of Numbers, you won't see where, if you don't have spiritual eyes, you won't see where Balaam actually taught Balak how to curse Israel.
Yeah.
But thanks the Most High for teachings like this. Read that.
Revelation 2:14.
Revelation 2:14. Read.
Says, but I have a few things against thee, because thou hast dared them that hold the doctrines of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel.
He taught Balak to cast a stumbling block in front of Israel. Read.
To eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication.
To commit fornication. Is there more on that?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so the doctrine of Balaam consists of teaching Balak on how to make the Israelite fall, on how to make them sin, because we just read there's no enchantment against Israel. There's no voodoo. You can't curse these people. And remember, it says here in Numbers 23 verse 21 that I see no iniquity in Jacob.
So Balaam gave Balak the secret.
There we go.
You know?
He gave Balak the secret. Now, if you don't have eyes, you won't see it. But by telling Balak, hey, the Most High don't see any sin among his people, that's you telling him the only way for the Most High to not be with them, to not protect them, is for them to be sinning.
Yep.
So the doctrine of Balaam, kids, is simple. The doctrine of Balaam consists of making Israel fall, making them sin so we can overtake them. If we keep them in sin, the Lord won't be with them. So now, that's where it gets interesting. The Revelation says in the last book, there's people that are still doing that same activity. Meaning teaching the people to eat food sacrificed to idol, fornication, teaching them things like that so they could fall. Now get me Numbers 25 verse 1 to 9. Now I'm gonna show you something right quick.
The book of Numbers 25 verse 1 to 9. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
With the daughter of who?
With the daughters of Moab.
Is it a coincidence? You understand? Immediately after Balaam left in chapter 24, then they start being fornication with the daughter of Moab. Meaning the daughters of Moab start coming around camp.
They were sent by the king.
They were sent. So the Israelites start sinning with them and committing fornication. Read on. Let's keep reading.
Because we're not supposed to sleep with
There we go. The Bible said, Deuteronomy 7:2, we're not supposed to sleep with strangers, dealing with strangers. You understand? But it sounds fishy that right after the whole Balaam situation, Balak seems to be like, man, plan B then.
It's
Numbers
Numbers
25.
25, verse 1.
It's like plan B. Now I gotta make them sin so I can curse them, because I can't curse them without them sinning. Everybody with me? Let's read on.
And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods, and the people did eat and bow down to the gods.
Right, so there we go. So they use their women to bring Israel down. Read on that. That's what Revelation is referring to, where it says Balaam taught Balak how to get Israel cursed. Basically, if you want them cursed, you got to make them sin. That's why the doctrine is called the doctrine of Balaam. Read.
And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel. And the Most High said unto Moshe, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Most High against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Most High may be turned away from Israel.
Read on.
And Moshe said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianite Midianitish woman, and the sight of Moshe.
You said, like, while Moses is talking about, kill all the princes that deal with the Moabite woman, there's a simple Negro. He probably drunk. Hey, like, look at my Midianite woman, yo. He coming with his Midianite woman. Like in the sight of the whole congregation, as they were talking about it. Just like, you remember the Maccabees? Just like Matatas was saying, man, we'll never bow down to the king. And there's a simple Negro bringing a pig to sacrifice. Always. There's always one. Okay? He's showing up, probably drunk with his Midianitish woman. Read.
And the sight of Moshe, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel.
And this in front of everybody. Read.
Who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
They were weeping because, they sin against the Most High. They know what's up, what's going to happen. Why they're weeping? Because, whenever you sin, there's a price to pay. But this nigga was showing up with a Midianitish woman as they were talking. Read.
And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the men of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through the men of Israel, and the woman through her belly, so the plague was stayed from the children of Israel.
Right, the Most already put a plague upon the children of Israel as they were speaking. So the only reason why it stayed because of what Phinehas did, man. He went through that tent and pierced through both of them and killed both of them.
That's it.
You understand? So now, it's not a coincidence just right after Balaam talked to that Moabite king, then all of a sudden Moabites start popping up, other nations start popping up.
Yeah, it's verse 21.
To make Israel sin. Get me Isaiah 59, brother. Now let's start hitting it on the net. So now you find out what is the doctrine of Balaam. It consists of making the children of Israel sin so you can break them down. Because sin in the Bible is the kryptonite of the Israelite. A lot of you watch Superman, right? Batman and all that. Right? Our kryptonite as a people is sin. Now we're gonna look more into it. Let me show you.
The book of Isaiah 59, verse 1. Behold, the Most High hands is not shortened that it cannot save.
You say the Most High hand is not too short, it cannot save. Read.
Neither is ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he would not hear.
You see that? The doctrine of Balaam, they know, they understand. The more we keep them in sin, the more their God stay away from them, the more we keep them oppressed. Simple mathematical equation. Keep them sinning. Let's make the church teach them God's laws done away with. What is sin, brothers and sisters? Transgression of the law. So if we tell them God's laws done away with, they're going to keep sinning. The more they keep sinning, the more they become our servant. The more that God's never defend them.
And the nation, they know that.
They know. In fact, get me Ezekiel right quick. Let me show you. I'm going to show you that the nation know. Right? Get me Ezekiel 39, brother.
In other
Verse 2.
words, this is Israel's weakness.
That's our weakness, man.
Ezekiel what? 30?
39.
The book of Ezekiel 39 verse 2. Ezekiel 39 and 2. And I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee.
Hold on. I think. No, let me get it first. Give me 1 second. Ezekiel, it's Ezekiel 33. 33 verse 29.
Ezekiel 33 verse 29.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. $39.23. I'm missing one. $39.23.
Ezekiel
39:22.
Ezekiel 39 verse 23.
All right, yeah, get me that. Let me show you. The nations understand that, brothers, and that's where we in a spiritual warfare. You understand? You're gonna see the gravity of this situation, man. How bad it is. All right, read that. Ezekiel 39:23.
The book of Ezekiel 39:23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity.
For their what?
For their iniquity.
So the Bible said the heathen shall know that we went to captivity for our sin. So they understand. Basically, the Bible is telling you they know why we're in this situation.
Oh yeah.
And that's their weapon. But brothers, don't we see what's going on in this society? They're paying the typical rapper that's singing with no talent millions of dollars to sing women are whores. I do drugs and do guns. They're paying him a lot of money. Why they don't do that for the East Indian, the Chinese, even the Africans? Because there's an agenda against you. There's the doctrine of Balaam. If we keep them in sin, we keep dominating over them. They figure it out. Keep them in sin. Get me Micah 4:11, bro. Actually, before you get that, get Judith. Get Judith 5 verse 17. Before we get that. Keep them sinning. Because their kryptonite is sin. The more they sin, the more they can come together, the more we dominate. Set them up with sin on every side. Use the church to tell them God's law is done away. Use music to promote fornication. You know, use the Arabs in the hood to promote drugs. You put church everywhere, alcohol everywhere. Surround them with sin. Put pork in their food and their medicine, that the Most High can stay away from them. So we can have them as slave, as a perpetual bondage, man. Forever. All right, read on.
Judith 5 verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered.
You see that? He say they're talking about the Israelites. He say when the Israelites keep the Most High laws, they're not sinning against the Most High. They prosper. Things work well for them. Read.
Because the Most High that hated iniquity was with them.
The Most High that hate iniquity is with them. Read.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore.
Read.
And were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
Read on.
And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
Right. Read on.
But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
Read on.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
So that's a Gentile talking, a Moabite. You say, man, look, if Israel sin, if there's any error among them, if there's any corruption among them, guess what? We can take them. We can ruin them. Read.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Check this out. Read.
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
You see that? Even the nations understand. If the Most High is with us, who can be against us? You see? So the Moabites say, Lord, if you know the Most High is with them, don't even go fight against them. Their God gonna defend them. They know who the Most High is, man. They all heard about how we took the land of Canaan and how the Most High split the sea. You know, in ancient Egyptian history, you know what they used to call the Israelites? They used to call the Israelites witches. They call us witch because we split the sea and do all that stuff. They used to say we were a bunch of sorcerers. Especially when Joshua make the sun move back and the moon stay. They found record that the Egyptians say a bunch of witches left Egypt. They say we were witches. Yeah, they said that's so many things the Most High have terrorized the nations with. They understand when we don't sin against the Most High, they can't fight against us. So what would you do if you were our enemies? You would surround us with sin. And this is what's going on today. This is the doctrine of Balaam being taught. You can see the church. You show them in the Bible where it says you cannot eat pork, but they're still teaching their member it's okay to eat pork. The Bible says Shabbat, they say Sunday. You understand? So fornication, you see the church, how the women are dressing up in there. Like they come from the club and they just walk in the church. You can see this society also. It surrounds us with everything is sexual. Don't you notice that? Even a little bottle of lotion you buy, there's a naked woman in there. You know, the little post, you know, it's all about everything is sexual, nakedness everywhere, sin everywhere. Especially in the ghettos, man, we are surrounded, man.
Yeah, you see on the billboard, oh, your woman is hot. What does
Your
that
wife
have-
is
your
hot.
wife is hot. What does that have
Everything
to do with
has
AC?
to be sexual. You understand? And plus, we're not talking about the food that you eat, the clothes you're wearing. A lot of them are pork, man. It's pork. You know, some shoes you're wearing is pig skin. The bag you have. You know, we are surrounded with sin for a purpose. And especially you, black men, you are targeted for sin. Because that's why they're paying your actors, your musicians, millions. They don't do that for other nations. You got Fetty Wap and all these guys. There's a song that come out. It's called No Words. This guy said no words in the song. He just go. That's all. Then there's a beat and there's women dancing naked and the guy saying no words. And that's what the Negro play in the parties. You understand? Foreigner, they can't even talk. You know, because that's what they listen to, man. And they're paying these guys millions. So you think think about it. Let's think straight. You think they're paying these guys millions of dollars just to sing garbage on TV for no reason? Because your image, your source of inspiration, they want it to be these guys. When your children look Little Waynes, they want them to become like Little Waynes. They want them to become like Fetty Wap. That's why a lot of young black men, what do they inspire to do? Play football and rap. That's their source of inspiration. That's why they pay them millions of dollars.
When I was in high school, we got a bunch of young men. The only thing that was in their mind was playing basketball and playing football and raps and everything. But now you can see them walking in the street. You know, they have nothing going on for themselves. And the teachers was giving them the grades to just pass the class without them putting the work in. Understand? So look at them now.
Right, so they're not even interested with school. All they want to do is play football and rap. So they say, man, if I do that, I get the money anyway. I don't need school. So a lot of them, you think it's easy like that, you're going to get drafted in the NBA when there's thousands of players that are trying out?
From everywhere.
From everywhere? You think you're the best like that? So a lot of time, they take few of them and the rest, because they never learned anything in school, they go back in the streets. It's not easy you're going to make a song that's going to make records, especially if you're not selling yourself out. Meaning be ready to be a homosexual. Because that's the path a lot of these artists have to go through. You know, to make that money. They have to give that backside. Yep. You got to become more wicked to make it up top there. You got to be willing to do something. You know? So that's what's going on. This is the doctrine of Balaam, really surrounding God's people with sin. Because when we sin, we cannot come together. We're killing each other. They're giving us guns. You know, like there's a brother who was talking, he's like in Detroit, in Michigan, also in Michigan, they used to wake up in the morning, they see piles of guns in front of their house. They don't know who dropped them. They're literally dropping guns, man. And young black men took those guns and shoot each other with it. Because think about it. If we don't sell their drugs, who's going to do it? They need us to sell their drugs. So they have to keep promoting that gun violence. And TV, you see these rappers, man, I do drugs. How is this even legal for you to be talking this stuff and you don't get arrested? Talking about I kill niggas. They got teardrops and they're bragging about it.
My brother has one and he think he feels so powerful. I'm like, man, you got to get yourself right, man, before you wreck yourself.
Right.
You know? So you're older, you're supposed to be an example, man. And look at this kid in the street, man. They watching those older men to see what they doing. You understand? So we're supposed to be the one providing that example for them, but we're not that example.
Right. Man, get me Isaiah, man. Isaiah 28, verse 15. Starting 14. Isaiah 28, 14.
Isaiah 28, verse 14.
Read.
Says, wherefore hear the word of the Most High, his scornful men, that rule this people which is in Jerusalem.
Scornful men that are mocking the Most High word, pretending they're following the Most High, but they're really mocking the word. Just like today, nothing new under the sun is the same thing. The men that rule these people, that the people look up to, those are a bunch of scornful men. A lot of these pastors, you used to trust them until you bring God's word and the Lord. Like you lost so much respect for them. Like a sister was saying. Man, the sister is like, man, I used to respect that pastor, but now I don't respect him no more. Because trying to bring the word to him, man, he make fun of the word. You understand? He don't want to listen to the Lord because they pay money to go to that theological school. They're not about to lose that money.
Hey, you got to get that money back, man.
You know, to them, that's an investment. You know, so let's see what the Bible talk about these scornful men. What they do. Read.
Isaiah what? 28:14. The book of Isaiah 28:14. Wherefore, hear the word of the Most High, his scornful men, that rule this people which is in Jerusalem.
Read.
Because he have said, we have made a covenant with death.
With what?
With death.
With what?
With death.
We've made a covenant with death, man. Read.
And with hell are we at agreement.
You see that? The Bible says, man, these pastors, they're in agreement with hell and with death. How do we know that, brothers? These people are teaching the same white Jesus, man, that kill us. These people are teaching that same doctrine, man, love the white man. You know, we all one in Jesus. Where was that oneness in slavery? Why did they treat us as one? Now we all one? You see, but it's the same message they've been teaching since they got us off the slave ship. You understand? So just to lead us to the oppressor. So the Bible said they have a covenant with hell. Meaning keep teaching God's people, look, God's law is done away with. As long as you got Jesus, you don't need nothing else, brother. The only time God's law applies is when they need tithes. And that offering. And they got a feast they love too. Is that the Feast of Weeks? Feast of First Fruits? They love that feast, man.
That's when the members, everybody bring them everything. Money, fruit, you know,
right.
Everything.
They love that feast. The Old Testament is done away with, but they're going to do first fruit. I got one. I don't know if the American churches do it, but the Haitian churches doing first fruit, man, they go all that. I got one of my uncles, man. They're bringing money. And he got money. He bought a car cash after that first fruit. The people bring money, but the law's done away with. But I'm gonna do first fruit, which is in the Old Testament. Okay, because if you say you're gonna keep first fruit according to the New Testament, it's only fire that came up on the disciples that day. So you should just wait in the room, wait for fire to come down.
They're not gonna leave that lifestyle just because you tell them about the truth. You know.
But brothers and sisters, this is what we're saying. Because of money, Balaam was willing to compromise himself, to curse God's people. This is what the doctrine of Balaam. These people are taking money, getting paid from the conferences, even though they know the truth. Some of them know that we are the true Israelites, because I used to be in the Seventh-day Adventist. When I asked him, man, but one of the first, what they call them, the
first bishop,
first deacon or whatever, chief deacon, if we put that. I asked him, I tell him, you know, we the Israelite Christ was black. He's like, I know. Like, how you know? What you mean you know? He's like, yeah, I know, man, I know. I'm like, why are you not telling the people that? Like, you know. See, a lot of them, man, they know the truth. But guess what? The Bible says they make a covenant with hell. Meaning they're getting paid to keep God's people in sin. Even though they know God's law is not done away with. Christ said it in Matthew. I don't know how you skip Matthew 5:17. I just don't understand. How do you skip that one? He says, think not I come to destroy the law, as long as the heaven and earth here. None of the law shall be done away with. But you still going out there teaching God's law is done away with. See, this is the doctrine of Balaam, brothers and sisters. That we teach them lawlessness. Lawlessness is sin. So when we keep sinning, we keep being in captivity. We cannot put ourselves together. The Most High is not with us. Because we don't have no strength. We can't fight the white men and all these guns. We need the Most High. But we cannot fight without us coming back to the Most High and His laws. Right? So let's read on, brother.
Verse 15. Because he have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell or we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us.
Right, so that's it, man. When things bad, man, I'm going to be good. Because I'm eating, I'm getting paid from the conferences, from the white man. I'm going to be good when the famine comes. Okay, so we getting paid, we getting money, driving Bentley. You see them pastors, they call them prosperity pastors. LA, pastors of LA, they got their own, what they call them? TV shows, they got their own runway for their private airplanes. Yeah, that's what's going on, man. Making millions, and you got that same guy that's called Crafty Dollar. That's why I call him Crafty Dollar. You know, they call him Craflo Dollar, but it's Crafty Dollar. Man, he got his own private jet. Meanwhile, he's teaching. You know what he tell the people? We don't even have to keep not even the Big Ten. That's what he tell these people. He said, not even the Big Ten we don't have to keep. Not even the Big Ten talking about the 10 Commandments. He said, we don't even have to do any smile, man. He said, we don't even have to do the 10 Commandments. You see? They're teaching our people lawlessness out here because this is the agenda of the people that taught them that. Who taught them to be a pastor? Where do they go to learn to be a pastor? You understand? So they're teaching them that because then we just show in the Bible, the heathen shall know we went to captivity for our iniquity. So keep them in sin. Surround them with iniquity. Target their young men. Target their young women. You see, when they're singing about the white woman, she's beautiful, she's beautiful. When they're teaching, playing music about whore, they got a bunch of black women. You understand? When they're teaching about guns and violence, you see a bunch of black men. You know, they're singing about guns. Like they're singing about I shoot niggas. If they say I shoot white people, guess what? You're gonna be prosecuted. You can't say that. And that's what happened to extemptations. You know, he be singing about he hanged white people, then next thing he got shot. Extemptations, tenacious, whatever his truth, he's done. He's done and gone.
Temptations.
What was his name? Tonsa. What the hell is this name anyway? He's gone. Nah, yeah, they killed him, man. Rob him. That was not a robbing, man. They killed that man. Pretend on robbing.
Yeah, because you're on TV, you saying you're gonna kill white people.
Nah, he had a whole video about hanging white babies and stuff. Yeah, he got shot. You can say I'm gonna kill niggas, but you can't say I'm gonna kill white people. You can't say that. Because the program is not for you to say that. The program is for you to incite violence in the black community. It's not to say you're going to kill white people. What are you talking about? We kill you.
Next thing you know, he did.
You understand? That's why we can't get out of iniquity or because of all these things, man. But how do we done away with that system? It's simple. Stop sinning. I said that before here. How do we end the system, collapse the system? Don't walk on Shabbat. As I say, you know, we were talking about it. A lot of them are having a hard time finding slaves to work on Shabbat. A lot of these jobs, man, they say, man, we have to have Shabbat. No one want to work Saturday. Because a lot of Hebrews are waking up. Right. The pork industry is going down because the Hebrews are waking up. Nobody's eating that. The cigarettes. Even I was reading an article that said drugs is down in the hood. They don't understand what's going on.
Pork
Yeah, pork consumption is down. Drugs is down. You know why? Because them Hebrews be snatching souls.
They send all of them to the Cuban community, bro. Cuban, they won't eat without pork, man.
Yeah, man.
Like I've never seen people like that, man.
They make it bread. They gotta make it with pork.
Yeah, they brainwash them, man. You
Everything
know what
is
happened
pork.
to our people? Let me tell you, man. Why we end up eating pork is because that's the only thing that fed us in slavery. That's the only thing that fed the slaves in slavery. So the slaves got addicted to that stuff. Man. But before that, we used to fight not to eat it. But you know, that's the only option you had in that situation. It was evil times, man.
But in that community, man, even the rice they cook, they put pork on it.
Yeah.
I went to buy a rice. I'm like, what's that? Oh, this is pork. Really? This is pork. I'm like, you could live. Pork and rice in the rice, man, with black beans. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah,
Pork.
even the bread has pork, man. Like everything. You understand? So that's what's going on, brothers. That teach us. Get me Micah 4 verse 11, brother. Let me show you.
Now I cook my own food, man. The chef that what in the house.
That's why. But here's the thing, brothers. What we saying here, you know, even the food you eating, send in your neighborhoods, man. That they got demographics, man.
Yeah.
Right. They make it cheap, man. Okay. That's why they sell the best sells are on Shabbat, man. The pork is on every menu. You know. Even a damn movie you watching, there's a sexual girl out by the, like if you go on this website watching a movie, there's a naked girl out there. Come. Trying to entice you.
You know, as you bring that lesson, it's very imperative, guys, for us to know, you know, the other nation, they know what keep us in sin. What keep the Most High separate from us is because we keep on sinning. You know, even the food, we take just the food that we eat. Like, you know, a bunch of restaurants, especially for Levite restaurant, you go there, all the food are unclean because they cook the pork, they fry the pork, and they fry the same the steak, they fry everything together. And
right.
You know you're gonna eat that food. Guess what's gonna happen? To you, you think you're not eating pork, but you eating it. You know, my cousin had a restaurant. I had to ask her, what do you cook when those things? She said, mostly every restaurant you go, you're gonna find they fry the pork and the steak and the goats in the same oil. Understand? They're not gonna tell you that because they don't want to lose money.
Right.
But they fry the same thing. That's why I'm like, okay, no more, man.
Man,
Yeah.
look, eating from your enemies, make your own food. Yeah, Kwam, learn how to cook, man. We're giving courses.
I told you, man. I learned now. I did a steak, man.
It was not bad.
I did a steak the other day. She says, trust me, you cut your finger, huh?
Right? So here's the thing, brothers. Here's the thing, man. We are surrounded, man. That's why the Bible says we're in a spiritual warfare. You understand? You got to see we are surrounded with bad stuff, man. Our children are surrounded. And that's the environment they're going to raise in, man.
Yep.
And it's going to be so hard to help them raise in a healthy, in a spiritual life because the TV's telling them something else. You got to always be watching what they're watching. They got the enchantments in the TVs. You know, like it's really hard out here, man, the fight that we face. So that's why the Bible says, who shall stand up against workers of iniquity?
Right.
Because they're working iniquity so we can keep living in that condition.
And they know that.
And you got to notice, while there's drugs in your neighborhood, their communities are tight with security. For you to get in their communities, you got to show ID, they got to swipe, they got to do background, call your family in Haiti. It's like, man, you got to do all that before I get in your community? And like, yeah, you know, but your hood is wide open for the Arabs to come sell his drugs, man, and his pork, which he's not gonna even eat. See, this is what we're talking about. See, so that makes sure they restrict the corruption just to you. You keep that corruption. In their communities, 1 or 2 churches. In your communities, churches everywhere. Let me tell you something. There's a secret. Anything the white men give you too much of, don't trust it.
But the scripture says, never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thy enemies, man. You know? So this is what's going on, man, with our people. Your medicine, your toothpaste, your makeup, you know, everything is sin, filthy.
Especially for the makeup. You know, a lot of makeup the sisters be wearing, I don't even think they look at them. Understand? They full of pork. But they neglect to look at those big terminologies.
Right. We always tell you when you go to the shops, man, watch out for the things. Soon I'm gonna put on our website the list of things you gotta watch out. There's more things to watch out for. You know, so we can separate ourselves from. That's why the Most High is saying in Revelation, separate yourself from them, my people. Be ye separate. Do things differently. You go to this shop, don't just pick up bread, man. That thing got a lab worth of chemicals in there. Like it's literally a whole page.
I don't buy them.
Yellow 5, red 40, like all kind of stuff, man.
When I see that long list, I'm like, skip. I don't even spend time to read it.
Yeah.
There's some word in my there. I don't know where it comes from. I have to search. I'm like, skip. Hey, it's not gonna kill me.
Micah 4:11, brother. Read that, man. See, this is the doctrine in Balaam in full display in front of our eyes, but we don't know. Who are the children of Israel? We are the children of Israel. And this is why we can't rise, man. Because as long as we keep living like this, the Most High will always be angry with us. All right?
The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 11.
Read.
It says, now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Most High.
Right, so the nations come together. They say, man, let's look upon Zion. Let's watch him defile. Let's spoil him. Okay, let's defile him. Let's target. Let's pay their own men money to destroy their own communities. Because last thing I know, brothers, correct me if I'm wrong. Do black people own gun manufacturing companies? Do we own do we own some drug company, cocaine gardens? So how do we get this stuff in the hood? Do we own ship to get the cocaine from Colombia? How did he end up in the hood?
If you go to a gun range to see who's selling those guns, you don't see no black people selling guns.
Right.
You will see them crackers. They are the ones selling
I don't even think they'll let the black men sell guns in America. Or you have to go through so much hell for you to even start a selling gun business. They don't trust you like that. But somehow guns always end up in the hood. Somehow in Haiti, a country that don't even have not even one gun manufacturer, you got little boys 15 working out with AR-15. Where they get them guns from?
They trap them. They do that.
Right? Where they getting those semi-automatic and them automatic weapons, man? And a lot of you kids too, y'all love playing those games, those violent video games, man. Watch your spirits. They're training you to be violent. Y'all don't know that. It's a brainwashing program. Like the TV, the games you're playing, it's a brainwashing program. They desensitize you. Desensitize you. Okay? So what does that mean? The more you keep seeing the violence, the more you keep seeing, these games right now, they're very graphic. You shoot people, you see blood coming out, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no blood in mine.
Okay, but you still shooting people, aren't you?
He turned his
The
face
other
around.
day, his mom was talking to him. They'll come to him and say, oh, wait a minute, let me kill this one first.
Right. You see? Like what they're raising you to be a cold-blooded killer, man. No, because we've had many stories of people that play games so much they stop killing real people in real life. Yeah. You know, they're gone mad. So y'all keep playing these crazy games, man. Don't attach yourself to knowledge. Read books. Keep playing these crazy games.
There is a guy that my brother used to play that game too, and they call it Grand Theft Auto something. He was in the street. You mean Grand Theft Auto? When Grand Theft Auto, he was in the street doing the same exactly thing.
Right. So Grand Theft Auto. So they're teaching you how to break into people's cars, right?
Yes, people killing people. He actually did that. He thought he was in the game. Pull people out of the car, take the car, go, and police car running after him.
So he think he's in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
No,
a
that-
walking
it's not
dead.
the first time actually. There's a Edomite that did the same thing. He think he's in the game. Because the way they make these games, it feels like real life, man.
The game is in his mind.
A lot of time they make you talk to other people. It's like a real thing happening. You hear the police, 911, and all these, the streets. So a lot of time now they're training you to go rob cars.
He's been hypnotized.
But the only thing is the game can be over. But out here, man, he ain't no game. He ain't gonna be over. You're gonna spend the rest of your life in prison or get shot. And in fact, in the game, you don't feel no pain if they shoot you, do you?
You look like that escaped from prison, but he had some study that he was supposed to do. They went to the hospital. When he get to the hospital, so they leave him in a room. So he take his gown off. He went to the janitor. He take the clothes for the janitor cleaning. He put on. He go to the window. He go to the roof, and then he saw the police was everywhere. They said that it was straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, these people be watching too much movies, man, and them games. I'm warning you against those things, man. It's all part of the program. You understand? Get in your mind so you can go at. Now, a lot of these kids, you ask them, man, I got one of my cousins. You can't ask him name any gun on earth. Just bring the gun in front of him, name it. He already know what they name. He plays so many games. He know all the guns' names. Like this boy was only 14, man. You understand? So this is what's going on in the brainwashing. You know, that trend is, because remember, that's the same thing with flight simulations. Before you go fly an airplane, they put the flight, it's like a game, you playing airplane on a screen. So you can simulate. But the same thing is, the game is a simulation. It's training you, preparing you to do the same thing they expect you to do.
And sometimes you feel a vibration in your hand, like it's
Right.
happening in the real life.
Right. That is simulation, man. That you shooting and killing people and escaping. You know, those games show you how to escape police, run over police, run police over. Then, of course, these kids gonna be berserk going crazy out here. You had some yet done? What you got?
Some people say that it's not the video game, it's a console. So
You say what?
it's the console that they're playing with. So there was this guy doing console, and the 4-year-old father called over for it and broke. And the father got so mad that he killed her with a knife.
That's what's going on. You know, everybody gone crazy, man. Because they're keeping everybody in sin, man. We're locked in that sin and that iniquity. You know? So we as a people, man, we have to make sure that, you know, we live in sin behind us. As I say, you don't need to pick up a gun to destroy this system. You just need to pick up your Bible and stop sinning. Because the society is based on your sin. The more you sin, the more they profit. If they go to Haiti and drop guns, and no young man was interested in their guns, you know, the young men would turn the guns to the police and investigate who dropped them. But guess what? Because we wicked, we take that guns and go shoot each other. So all we got to do is stop being wicked. Stop eating their pork. You understand? Stop dressing. Let me tell you, sisters, if you stop buying those little pom-poms they sell in the shops, they're going to have two choices. Close the store or actually put more modest clothes. Because we ain't know no black woman going to buy. If they know we ain't going to buy their weaves, man. Guess what? You got a bunch of $1 billion industry in weaves, man. Fake hair. If they know you're going to actually take off your hair, you don't need that stuff, then guess what? Everybody's going out of business.
And the thing is, it's just the fact that they've been making our women thought that, okay, if you don't have that wig in your head, you're not beautiful. Understand? And our people, they believe that stuff. You know, they will say, oh, I'm look ugly. You know, they have the natural hair. They will say, oh, I look ugly. My hair is not done yet because they haven't put the wig in their hair. Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Right, then guess what? That's why we gotta teach them people, man. Because now the more and more, I mean, the more we teach our people, the more you see the system is collapsing.
Yeah.
No, imagine one day that black people never buy those fake hairs no more, man.
Oh.
And there'll be a serious crisis in that industry.
Oh yeah.
Serious crisis for the retail, Ross and Walmart and all these stores selling clothes.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot of sisters that's been going natural now.
Right, natural, yeah.
Keeping their natural self.
And Esau don't like these people.
You know that movie the lady did with the nappy hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of women are inspired by that. Even her, she played a movie. She going natural now.
Come.
Yeah.
But at the same time that they're going natural, the companies they work for are starting to say, well, it's food, you can't wear your hair that
Right.
way. Braids, you know, your hair has to be pulled back, you know, just.
They're giving them problems. The thing is, they want them to get back to the weave. I gotta give you trouble so you can go back to the, cause I'm losing money out here. Oh, you're a black woman going natural, man. That's a lot of money you're making me lose.
I heard something about that Gabrielle Union. Is that what they fired her on American Got
Yeah, for her hair,
X
yeah.
Factor?
They should fire her all the time. She's wicked.
She's wicked.
Can I add something, Richard?
Jeez.
Right.
Here's the thing. Research was trying to come up with laws to make it illegal for people to braid people's hair without a license. Which means what we black people do, you know, like the women, they braid their sister, their family, their relatives' hair. They were trying to make it illegal. Black people were like, oh no, you don't go too far now.
Right.
They always say like, you can't just do your cousin's hair like that, you need to have a license. Which is something
Right.
black people do naturally all the time.
Right.
Why? Because if you start doing it now, if the hair keep growing and we keep...
We won't need weave,
We
man.
won't need weave, right. They won't make money.
Right.
They trying to pass a
Let me
law
tell you,
now.
it's all persecution. They're persecuting our people, man. Putting laws so we can't even keep our natural hair. Yeah, so we can buy their fake hair. That's the plan. First, they try to make us hate ourselves, telling us we have monkey butts in our lips. Now they're doing lips. Now they're walking around like there's two baseball bitch and they're behind, man. Like two orange.
You haven't seen nothing. Go to my neighborhood, the Cuban community, man.
They're crazy. Local.
Tu loco para la cabeza, amigo.
Right. You see what he said. Okay. All right. So that's what's going on with our people, man. Let's get the last verse, man. Get me John 7:16 and get me Proverbs 4 and 2. All right, because we have to teach the Most High doctrine, man, not no Balaam doctrine. So this whole system, as I say, man, if we want to collapse the system, keep the Most High laws. Because it's based on our wickedness. It's based on a black woman buying $600 hair for 3 months. If it lasts that long. Right? It's based on us consuming a lot like the Black and Miles, man. Our people drink that. Not that they drink it, man. Because they smoke that stuff so much, they just drink. They make juice out of it.
You know, the sisters, when you tell them go natural, they say, oh, you don't understand what a woman got to go through. Like, what you got to go through? You just keep your goddamn hair. That's what it is.
You know, so, but they don't understand, man. They don't understand. The more we want to gravitate to the system, the more it's sucking us in. It's sucking our money. That's why the Most High say, be ye separate. Do you understand? It's not saying run away to the east, to the north. Because our peoples in Haiti, they're separate from the white men, but they're still doing what the white man's doing in Haiti. How are you separate? You can be in a different country, but still one with the white man. You're still buying his fake hair. You're still, falling in all these traps. The music games, the naked walking around, the mentality. So it doesn't matter where you are. Now there's YouTube everywhere. There's TV everywhere.
I went there, man. Things, back in the days, females were wearing shirts. Now everybody wearing pants.
Right.
And then if you got Haitians going over there wearing what you call like super, anyway, things you're not supposed to be in the street.
Tight. They're walking around and you
Yeah.
can see the color of the panties.
Yeah, that's what they're walking around.
And parents would put that on. They call them appendix, I think, right?
Spandex.
The spandex. The leggings, whatever the name is. So many terminology for them. But the parents would dress their kids just like that to go to school.
Right.
I was driving and I saw a kid that, my heart fell for that little kid, man. The parent, they put a light one. You can see all the little girl pennies on it.
Wonder why those kids turn out to be whorish, because the parents program them to be like that.
No, they're programming these kids, man. America, just like it's in Willie Lynch, man. All we gotta do is brainwash this generation. They'll do it for 1,000 coming. For 1,000 years. They'll keep going. So this is the situation we're in, brothers. We are surrounded. That's why the Bible says we're in a spiritual warfare. No one is, they do kill us in the street, but the bigger war is actually keeping us in this situation. He's encouraging our people to keep breaking God's laws. Live how you want to live, brother. And Jesus came, man. We don't need to keep these laws. And as we were saying earlier this morning, you can see a lot of these artists, before they became whores and all this, they come from the church. You got Beyonce. A lot of them used to be what? Christians. So what you're seeing, the church is preparing them for the next level of being a whore, a killer, and all kind of wickedness. Because the first thing, as I said earlier too, first thing they did to our people is what? Baptize them before they get them in the boat. Teach them why Jesus. If you don't accept it, you die. So that's what's happening, brothers. So that's the doctrine of Balaam. Read that. John 7, verse 16 18.
Book of John 7, verse 16?
16 and 18. 16 to 18.
Book of John 7, verse 16. Mashiach answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but he's that sent me.
So the doctrine of Mashiach say, I'm preaching is not my own doctrine. It's of him that sent me. Okay, so that's for Christian, man. That thought Christ came to bring his own thing out. Now he brings some new doctrines. No, man, the doctrine Christ was teaching was God's doctrine. That's why when someone say Christ came to destroy the law, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like Christ in the New Testament is a new person. That's why you should have that verse down. John 7, verse 16 and 18. So Christ can say clearly, the doctrine I'm teaching is not my doctrine. It's the doctrine of him that sent me. Read.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of the Most High or whether I speak of myself.
Right, so if any do his will, that person that do his will know if that doctrine is of the Most High or not. What is the will of the Most High, brothers and sisters? Where is that? No, the will of the Most High. Because Mashiach said, those that do the will of the Most High will know his doctrine. What is the will of the Most High?
To keep in his will.
What is his will?
That's like a 46, something like that.
46?
What is the will of the Most High, Azariah? What is the will of the Most High?
What?
John,
No, not Psalm 7. Psalm 40, verse 7.
Yes, Psalm 40 and 7.
40.
Psalm 40 and 7. That's how you find the will of the Most High. Because the Bible don't leave nothing to guessing. When Christians talk about let God will be done, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. What is God's will? Read.
Psalm 40, verse 8. That's what it is.
Psalm 40 and 8.
It
Read.
says, I delight to do thy will, O Most High, my power. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
Right. Thy law is within my heart, man. He said, read that again one last time.
It says, I delight to do thy will, O my power. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
You see that? Amashiach said, the doctrine is not mine. Those that do the Most High will, which is his law, they will understand my doctrine.
That's right.
What is God's doctrine? Proverbs 4 and 2. Let's bring it out. Let's see what's God's doctrine. That's how we're going to be able to differentiate between God's doctrine and Balaam's doctrine.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 2. Proverbs 4 and 2.
Read.
I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law.
You see that? Read that again.
Proverbs 4 verse 2.
Read.
For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law.
The Bible says, I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. And Amashiach say, I did not come preaching my own doctrine. I give you the doctrine that my Father gave unto me. What doctrine is that? The doctrine that was here before Christ came. The law and the commandments. You see? So the doctrine of the Most High clearly encouraging you to keep the law. The doctrine of Balaam discourage you to keep the law. See? So you can, by process of elimination, there's no church left. Because all of them teach somewhat like even the Seventh-day Adventists. They would say we keep the Sabbath, but you see the pastor, man, he refused to keep it. Like his face is like a baby butt, man. That thing, you know, it's soft. You know, sometimes they take their whole hair off. The bow.
It's not soft. It's like a mirror. You could look at yourself.
It's a mirror, man. Okay, they don't keep no law other than the Sabbath, which they barely even keep. See, it's a bait. Okay, so.
I met this guy. He's from Jamaica, Benjamin, presumably. He shaved his beard, he shaved his hair, and he shaved his eyebrows.
Great.
And I saw him, and I'm like, no, he looked like an alien. And then his hair, he had oil everywhere. You could literally toss some eggs and start frying eggs. Like, bro,
Toss some eggs.
unbelievable.
Right. So, brothers and sisters, the Most High doctrine is keeping his laws. Balaam doctrine is lawlessness. You do whatever you want. And Jesus, you can do whatever you want. Well, how's that working out for Christianity, man? Because all I'm seeing, the young men I used to go to church with, some of them are in prison, some of them are homosexual. You understand? Some of them are in the streets. You understand? They're in the ghettos doing whatnot. I don't see what's going on. The women, some of them pregnant, no husband. Like, if you look at the Bible say you're going to know a tree by what? Fruit. By what? By its fruit. So look at the church, man. Tell me the fruit that you see. Prostitution, homosexual, men going gang banging. Like a lot of young men. You remember these young brothers, man? A lot of these men, they're not in church no more. There's one I know, he's gay now. He's living with another guy. You're going to know that by their fruit, because what they teach, the doctrine of Balaam, which is lawlessness. Do whatever you please. God will accept you anyway.
Man, when I came to that church, I'm like, something wrong with this guy, with this cat. He's walking so sweet. I'm like, what?
Remember, Yeshua, when we first came to that, we never hang out with we wouldn't hang out with the other kids. We look at him like, something smells fishy.
Right.
We hang out with him.
But it's not only him, though. There's a girl that caught doing lesbianism in the church. In the bathroom of the church.
Kissing another woman that's also married.
The woman is married. They're doing whatnot in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
And that girl used to be in the pulpit, catching the Holy Ghost.
Probably with her hair.
You understand? This is what's going on in the church system.
When I
It's
come
collapsed,
here,
man.
When I converted, she's the one that came to teach me.
And she teach.
Kind of liked her too, but at the same, I'm like, oh, I'm going to church just for her. After that, you know,
That's how they
she's
get you.
good.
That's how they got you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
man.
how they get you.
Man, that's what happens, man. All these young men, these young women, they stink. You go to the church when you see them the same old people. At some point, you don't see the young people. You don't know where they're at. That's what's going on, brothers. So stay strong in the truth, man. Continue studying, keeping the law of the Most High. Don't follow the ways of Shaitan, man. And don't let Esau, especially our young brothers, man, our young children here, man, this is for you. Because in the Willie Lynch letter, you know what it says? It says, forget about the old people. Target the young ones. Because we already brainwashed the old one. The young one, get them before they turn 8. That's the program, man. Brainwash them. With that game, with that TV, man, let's get their mind before they grow up so they can be some important. Let's discourage them from reading. How many of you take books and read, man? You all need to read, kids. You understand? You all need to take your life seriously right now, because there's some white people that 14 years old, they're already millionaires. They got money, they got mansions. Like, we cannot keep living that way. Raising young men for failures. All they want to do is play games.
Depend on their parents all the time.
You understand? So let's step up the game, man, and let's not listen to these pastors. Let's get the knowledge. Come? I'm Adim Lapanim Yaroshalim.
Alright, bro. Hey. It's not fighting, do better. Both of you.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Barakatah Hawa.
Barakatah Hawa.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Lantan lanu.
Lantan lanu.
Wayom.
Wayom.
Ashabat.
Ashabat.
Bashalom.
Bashalom.
Barak.
Barak.
Israel.
Israel.
Barak.
Barak.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Tawada.
Tawada.
Tamyan.
Tamyad.
Aman.
Aman.
All praises and glory and honor be to the Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, for this great Shabbat day He has given us understanding of the scriptures, that we should not follow the way of Shaitan, neither follow lawless men, but we should follow the commandment and keep thy commandments. For near you is life, but far away from you is death. Oh yeah, we have discovered the conspiracy of the heathen to keep us in sin. Keep us strong in this truth, that we do not mind the things of the world. We do not fall in the tricks of Satan, but that we may continue doing your will and continue keeping thy laws and thy precepts. For in this you have ordained life and everlasting salvation. Pray that you bless your people and all those that listen to that message, that it may have an impact and the Spirit may dwell on them, that they may keep themselves from the evil one. We pray and ask all these things by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai Towat Tamyan. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom Yaimu. Barak Hashem Yisrael. Hallelujah Hashem Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom Yaimu. Barak Hashem Yisrael. Hallelujah Hashem Yahweh. Hallelujah, hallelujah. All praises and glory to the Most High for thank you for coming out, keeping the Lord the Shabbat day. Thank you for being part of this great community we're building. May the Most High continue to bless you. Remember, donate.